As President of the United States, what would you be urging Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to do at this moment? Governor DeSantis.
I would be telling Bibi, finish the job once and for all with these butchers, Hamas. They're terrorists. They're massacring innocent people. They would wipe every Jew off the globe if they could. He cannot live with that threat right by his country. The Hamas should release every hostage and they should unconditionally surrender. I'm sick of hearing the media. I'm sick of hearing other people blame Israel just for defending itself.
I'm going to let Ron DeSantis in on a little secret. Benjamin Netanyahu is never going to eliminate Hamas because he loves that Hamas exists. In fact, in 2019, while speaking to members of the Likud party in the Knesset, he said, it must be the policy of Israel that we continue to bolster and fund Hamas to thwart the establishment of a Palestinian state. Hamas doesn't exist in spite of Israel. It exists because of Israel, and not just in an abstract way, not just that they created the conditions that allow terrorism to thrive, but in that they literally give Hamas money so that more secular liberation movements inside of Gaza don't thrive, so that they can always justify their horrific acts of violence by saying, well, we're fighting against terrorism. We have to root out terrorism. But they didn't have to root out terrorism when they were literally transferring funds to Hamas. It is an absurd claim. And of course, you're never going to hear the truth of the matter if you're watching the Republican primary debate. But speaking of that, let's let some of the other candidates tell you their position. Nikki Haley doubled down on her statement from months ago that America needs Israel, not the other way around.
Last thing we need to do is to tell Israel what to do. The only thing we should be doing is supporting them and eliminating Hamas. It is not that Israel needs America. America needs Israel. They are the tip of the spear when it comes to this Islamic terrorism, and we need to make sure that we have their backs in that process.
Well, let's just do a little fact check on who needs who. From US News, the United States has given Israel more than $260 billion in combined military and economic aid since World War II, plus about $10 billion more in contributions for missile defense systems like the Iron Dome. A US News analysis finds that's the most granted to any country throughout that time frame, and around $100 billion more than Egypt, the second highest recipient historically. So obviously didn't expect any salient takes from the Republican primary candidates on what's going on in Gaza. I mean, someone like Ron DeSantis, who has said we need to shut down all immigration of Palestinian people into the United States, that we should deport Palestinian American citizens. But before I get to who won the debate, Jackson, I just want to let you get your take on what they said there.
Well, I mean, you don't really have to be like super educated on the history of that region of the world. Mm-hmm. You can just look at how they responded and see that they were given knee-jerk, inauthentic reactions. Because when you just look at the numbers, even if you just look at what's been going on over the last, month or so, look at look at how many more deaths are on the Palestinian side. Even before that, look at how much more aid and alliances to powerful countries and weapons that Israel has compared to anybody within any Palestinian regions. Mm-hmm. Look at how strong and look at how much leverage Israel has over so many different government factions. You look at that and it's like, oh, well, there's nothing to talk about. We just got to get rid of Hamas because they're such a threat. Obviously nobody who's in a sound mind would support innocent people getting killed. But at this point, that's really beyond the point, because look at how many more Palestinians have died. So to not consider that, again, you can just see, they don't even have any real feelings for it. Then you look at the numbers, how much money AIPAC gives, and you just look at the history and look at how our government, especially our federal system works. Look at people who get fired for, saying, hey, maybe we should defend the Palestinians, stand up for them some way. It's just, it's very political and money well spent in terms of it being effective to put Israel in a position to where they can kind of do what they'd like.
And AIPAC is making investments on both sides of the aisles. They're funding Democrats and Republicans alike. But speaking of Republicans, let's talk about who apparently won the debate. So here is a poll from 538. Apparently DeSantis won, first win for him after a couple really bad debates. Can you put the camera back on me for a second? I think it was this that really won the audience over. That time, it was the smile, the award-winning smile of Ron DeSantis.
I didn't see the debates last night, but now we have to see this now, or as soon as this show's over, I'm looking it up. So you maybe look up somebody's Marjorie Taylor Greene's feet. Yeah, so now we about to look this up. Yeah.
He was biting his tongue and his lip a little bit, and I was like, DeSantis, are you trying to look sexy?
Hey, maybe he was. He stuck his tongue out at some interview. So
yeah, it's creepy and gross, and he's the worst. Very, very not authentically human. But just to pull up that really quick, Christie apparently did the worst. Haley did second best. She's been slowly gaining in the polls with moderates. Ramaswamy and third. And if you would believe it, Doug Burgum was there.
Really?
Doug Burgum just holding on by the skin of his teeth, still somehow getting on the debate stage every time.
I forgot about him.
It's astounding to me. Everyone forgot about him. If for everyone who didn't immediately go, who, when they announced his name, yeah, everyone else had forgot about him.
Yeah.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.